Hi friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Juan. I'm a yarn addict, hence the name Juan the Yarn Addict. And I want to thank each and every one of you guys for stopping by to check out my video today. This is a yarn and crochet channel where we talk about all things yarn and all things crochet. So if that interests you, please sit back and watch my video because today, my friends, I offer you another session of coffee and cake with Juan. So, every now and then, I pepper these videos throughout my channel just to give it a little bit of a break between everything else that we're doing. So today, I'm enjoying a nice hot cup of coffee and I'm caking up some vintage variegated yarns. So it's always fun to look at the yarns that they used to have back in the day, what it used to look like, what does it feel like. We talk about all the things and whatever else comes to my mind because, as I said before, friends, I have the gift of gab. So I love to talk. I love to bring up subjects and just dig in and take us on a field trip. So anyway, here are the yarns that we're going to be looking at today. Now, we do have skeins without labels. That's okay. We're just going to improvise and just talk all the things. Some do have the ball bands and things, so we'll discuss that as well. So we have some colorful skeins, we have some not so colorful skeins, but that's okay too. All of it matters, right? So yes, vintage variegated yarns. I did receive some variegated yarn that is off the shelf, but it's not vintage, so I didn't include it. So what you're seeing here is literally a vintage yarn and it's been discontinued and all the things. I also have this, but honestly, I don't know what this is. Well, I know it's yarn, right? We know that. It's a little messy, but it's okay. We're going to work through this. We're going to do this together, friends. So let me get this closer to the camera and show you what that looks like. Clearly, it's been around a while. It doesn't look like it just came off the factory lines. I have not seen this colorway around, so I'm including it in the project. I love the muted tones. It's literally everything. So I received this in Happy Mail, and the peculiar part of this is that I have this ball here, which is not the peculiar part. I have these, and they're little balls in a bag. So maybe we were working through some yarn barf and we snipped along the way and just made little balls and then just put it in a bag. But I have these. So I'm going to do my best to incorporate all of this into this. So yes, if we get to it, it'll be a thing. If not, we'll save it for the next session. No big deal. Okay? So there's that. Okay, so let's take a sip of this coffee. My friends, it is Dunkin' Donuts hazelnut coffee with caramel macchiato creamer and 2 equals to boot. It is perfect. It's all the things. I do recommend that when you make your coffee, put it in the microwave for an additional minute to make it piping hot. That way it lasts a little longer if you like your coffee hot. Me, I need to see the steam. I need to see all of it. You know, it's just how I am. Anyway, we're going to move this out of the way because we don't want a mess. So just know the coffee is right here. All right. So let's look at some of these yarns. Okay. We're going to look at the ones that actually has a ball band on it. So I've shown this before. I'm not a fan of the colorway, but it's okay. It might actually look really nice worked up in a hexagon with a black border. So this is Poppin' Yarn, Premier Quality Yarn, and let's see, it is 2.5 ounces, 70 grams, certified with pride, made in the USA. It's got the star right there. All the skeins of yesteryear, friends, have that, at least the ones that were made in the States. The colorway here is called Honeydew, and it's got this marled look between the actual honeydew color with a light to medium gray. So that's kind of what it's looking like there. I would assume that this yarn was meant to be worked up into a project where you're using all the same yarn or using a solid yarn to kind of offset this marled look. Anyway, it doesn't have any yardage on it or anything, but we're going to do this today because, like I said, I showed this before and I passed it off for other yarns, and honestly, friends, we need to ball this up. Or cake this up, sorry. Next, I have two of the same yarns. This is Mexicana yarn. Now, it is on the shelf. They do sell it. However, these particular yarns here are, I mean, decades old. I can clearly tell you that the quality of this yarn is very different than the quality of yarn that we are actually seeing now. If you go to the store and you buy Mexicana yarn now, you will notice that the threads are a lot thinner than what this is. This is a very full yarn, kind of like Loops and Thread Soft Classic. And so that's a close-up. It's very thick, very full. And so I'm going to include this because this particular yarn, although the name is current, it's not discontinued. This yarn, this physical yarn, is not the same as the yarn on the shelf. And yes, so I have to include that. The same thing goes with this. So it's very thick, very full. I mean, the physical yarn is what is vintage. And I believe they have discontinued the way they made this. And I thought about this back and forth, back and forth. Should I include it? Should I not include it? But this physical yarn is not the way it is now. So, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I'm going to cake it up anyway. Tell me if you think I should include this Mexicana yarn. Alright, so there's that. Next, we have the Lion Brand Sayel yarn. And this does not have a UPC code. That should tell you how old this skein is. This is called Springtime Ombre, and it has all of the pastels, the baby colors. It feels like your typical, 4-weight yarn. It's 3 ounces, 85.05 grams. It's 100% DuPont Orlon acrylic, and it's very squish. As you can see, I'm squishing it. It's bouncing back. It's like a sponge. It's so good. So there's that. I'm curious to know what this looks like worked up into a hexagon, paired up next to the ones that I already have. So with that being said, I have just the skeins left without the ball bands. So we're going to talk through those. I'm just going to tell you what I think of them, and then we'll get started from there. So this is another skein of your pastel colors. I would like to think that this is a variegated pastel, like a baby pastel. It's got similar colors to the Lion Brand Sayel, except for the fact that the green on this side is more pronounced than the green on this side right here. So we have that. And then next we have this wonderful yarn here. This here is, from what I remember, this is a red heart yarn for sure. And I believe I had other skeins of this. And I believe it's a kid's yarn. It's like it's got like a kid's label on it. It's a white red heart label. I can't really tell you the exact name of it, but I remember seeing that band on the skein. If I can find it, I will show it to you guys. But yeah, it's beautiful. You have neons and purples and all the things. And the surprise to this is the yellow. So the yellow isn't as neon as the other colors. It's more, I don't know, dull, but it's nice. Next we have a grouping of muted colors, like a muted teal, the taupes, the reds. This would look really great in a hexagon, circled, in black. And with the weight of the yarn, I'll tell you, I could get maybe, I don't know, 8 or 9 hexagons out of this. So that's great. The other thing I want to tell you is that whatever yarn I have left, I am bowling up into little balls, and I'm going to make one collective leftovers blanket. So not one piece of this gets wasted. We're literally going to use every bit of this yarn. So next we have I want to call this like a burnt sienna with like an olive color, and we have like a sandy taupe. Not a sandy taupe, it's more of like a sandy golden color. I don't know the name of that, but it's interesting, it's different, it's not something that we see in the stores now. So that would be interesting. I wonder how that works up, because it looks like it's variegated or ombre or striped or maybe a little bit of everything, because we have these blocks of solids and then the blocks of the variegated here. So who knows how that's going to work up. And then last but not least, we have this wonderful, wonderful skein that reminds me of a project that my grandmother had. My grandmother used this very yarn. Well, not this physical yarn, but this. I remember this as a kid. On the back of either her recliner or her couch, she had a blanket made with this. And this is very reminiscent of, you know, the kinds of yarns that she used. She was also into the variegated yarns. But see, what she always did was she chose the darkest hue, the darkest color of the variegated yarn, and she used that color as the solid. Instead of trying to figure out what complementary colors go with what, she never did that. She said, where's the darkest shade? Let me see. And then she would look for the darkest shade, and she'd be like, okay, well, I need to get so many skeins of the dark brown. And that was it. That's just how she did it every time. And so she had a blanket or a throw. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was either a throw or a blanket made with dark brown and this yarn. When I first saw this, I I almost, I took a breath back. I'm like, I remember this yarn. You know, it's one of those memories, you know, it just takes you right back. And believe it or not, like, my grandmother loved to crochet with greens. I remember that. She always talked about the forest and how, you know, all the greens, it would be like her walking in a forest. Some parts of the forest would be darker than others, and then other parts would be lighter. And then, I mean, it was just the whole story that she came up with. But yeah, she really enjoyed working with the greens, although purple was her favorite color, just like me. So I think today we are going to start with this right here. So we're going to start with this. It's ready to go. Piece of cake, all the things. Okay, so I'm going to place us on a brief pause just so that we don't lose any data throughout. I want to make sure we're very consistent and we get a lot of productivity done here in this video. So without further ado, I'm just going to place you guys on a brief pause. I will be right back. Okay, friends, so I'm back. The data saved. We're good. And so let's continue on our adventure here. So I'm going to thread the cake machine situation here. It's not a machine, it's what I'm calling it. It's fine. It's for the house. All right, so I'm going to thread it that way, and so that's what it's looking like, okay? See the things? And so I always like to do a slip knot. It just, for me, I like to put it there so that mentally for myself, it's holding on to something. I don't like to blindly just put the yarn in the slits just like that. So I create a slip knot like so, like that. And then what I do is I sit it across the top, and then I pull back just a little bit, just like that. I don't know if you guys can see that. See that? It's great. And see how this just went around. So what I'll do now is I'll take this loop and tuck it underneath the yarn just like that. Let me turn the table around so you can see. Just like that. Okay? And then we're just going to go to the horse race, friends. It's going to go like that. Ooh. So this doesn't squeak like my knit picks does, but that's okay. I love my knit picks, okay? I know some people don't like the little squeak in, or, you know, the little tick, 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 tick. I'm okay with it. You know what I mean? I've caked over 200 cakes with my Nitpicks ball winder. I haven't really caked much with this one, which is why I'm giving it a little bit of attention. You know? It's fine. Anyway, I do like this ball winder. The only qualm that I have with this particular ball winder is this arm that flings around. It goes into these rotations like, you know, Earth around the sun. If you have anything in its path, it's going to get jammed. It's going to knock things over. It's very unforgiving, okay? Now, technically, I could go a lot faster, but I love how quiet this is because I can sit here and just gab at the gums and talk to you guys about all the things. So I love that for you and for me and for us, okay? So I'm going nice and slow also because this yarn, it's not new yarn, right? So it's had many years to settle. I believe that it's going to not get stuck, but it's going to pair next to the yarns that it's been sitting next to, and it's going to be very, I don't know, unforgiving when we get towards the end. But who knows? I may be completely wrong, but I have a feeling when we get closer to the end, it's going to knot up. We'll see. Come on. You see it? It wants to knot up. Up, 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 up. I knew it. I knew it. But you know what? It's okay. We catch it right away, and it's going to be just fine. Come on. Ugh. Someone said in the comments of one of the other Caking It with Juan videos, just go real fast, Juan, it's okay. Well, the thing about that, friends, is if you go too fast with these vintage yarns, it knots up very fast, and then that pressure of going really fast, it makes the knot really, really tight, and it makes it very hard to take that knot apart. So don't go fast. Take your time. Okay? Good things come to people who wait and those that are patient. So if you want a good cake, take your time. Enjoy the process, you know. And, you know, you'll find yourself without a huge mess if you just take your time, you know. Now, sometimes the knots do get a little ridiculous. I'm not going to lie. I mean, sometimes I look at these knots and I'm like, how did you even come about? Where were you? How did you just come out of the blue on me like that? Anywho, so I'm going to finish this up just like that. And I'm going to wrap it around like a belt. Pull nice and tight and then tuck it right at that belt line. Now, it has been suggested to me that I use all sorts of things. I find that just tucking it under is exactly what it needs. See that? It's perfect. So since this didn't have a ball band, I'm just going to pull it off. But first, let's just take that off like that. And then let's pull that off. There you have it. It's beautiful. It's all the things. And then I just leave this little loopy loop stuck out just like that. Isn't that great? It's so pretty. I'm not a fan of the pinks, friends, but you know what? That actually looks nice. I enjoy that because of all the other colors. I'm just saying. Anyway, let's move on to the next one. Let's go ahead and do this one. I foresee a very beautiful cake with this. So let's just go ahead and get this started. Let's find the beginning, which I think we are close by here. Okay. So I don't I don't do anything fancy. I just feed it through. Let me turn this around so you can see what I see. Do you see that? It's like a spring. You're just feeding that yarn through the spring, okay? And then you're going to feed it from the spring to the arm, and then from the arm to the slit. That's it. So you just do that, Make your little slip knot like this. Doesn't have to be anything fancy, right? And then you just put it on there like that. It's perfect. We love that for us. And then just wrap it around once, and then make sure you're tucking this in. Just tuck it all in. There we go. Look at that. It's perfect. Love that for us. Yep, you see that? And we are off, friends, just like that. Are you kidding me? It's perfect. Anyway, I don't know how loud this is to you, but to me, it's fine. You know, it's a lot of yarn. We're just going to go to town with all this. Now, I wish I knew the name of this. If I had to give it a name, I would definitely use, like, country in the name. I don't know. Country Kitchen. It's giving me Country Kitchen vibes from 1992 or like 1989. I don't know. I really wasn't good at like picking those random names like that, but if you tell me to pick a name through a color, I can do that. But this, not so sure. But I would definitely have the word country in it. And yeah, I can't say Country Rose because there is a colorway name called Country Rose. Am I looking at it? Yes, I'm looking at it. It's over there. It looks nothing like this. And it's from Caron Dazzler. I have it in a pile because I'm sending that to someone in Happy Mail. I'm paying it forward, friends. There's a whole bunch of pinks. Vintage variegated pink. Now listen, I love pink, right? I have a shade. It's right next to my ear. Do you see it? It's that little dot under the subscribe button. That's my color. We love that for me. It's called Diva Pink. It's more of a red tone, but I'm here for it. I love it. And it all came to fruition through Sasha. If you don't know who Sasha is, Sasha was the very first amigurumi make that I made for my channel, and me, period. It was a 52-page pattern from Heidi Bears. And a friend of mine recommended the pattern because it was challenging, it was fun, and it was for a contest, and it was a sure win. If I was able to pull that off, it was going to be a good win. Anyway, I won. Anyway, I won that. And in the pattern, I used hot pink. And so, you know, not being a fan of hot pink, I was required to use the pink because it was one of the colors for the contest. And so in using it, I'm like, I really like this color and the way that it pairs up with the other colors. And so for that reason, I really fell head over heels for the hot pink. Well, Joann's recently came out with a slew of new colorways, that one being one of them. And I picked it up and I looked at it and I instantly fell in love. I said, I have to have every single skein that they have on the shelf. And listen, in true Juan the Yarn Addict form, when I get excited about a yarn, I don't just get one skein. I don't shop meagerly. That's not me. If I'm in the yarn store and I see a colorway that I really enjoy, my friends, I call the manager. I have the manager come over and we're looking at the colorway together. And I say, is this all you have? And they say, yes or no. And if it's yes, I say, okay, well, as of right now, you're out of stock. And I take all of it off the rack, all of it. And I put it in the cart, I take it up front, and I have it for me. And if they have more in the stock room or whatever, I say, okay, well, I'm going to take what you have on the shelf. I'll give it a day, and then I'll be back for the rest. And so that's how all this happened. You know, this doesn't happen just one skein at a time. I go in and I get excited about the aqua. I'm like, oh my goodness, that aqua. It looks so good next to the purple. I have to have it. I said, how many do you have? They said, about this many right here. I said, okay, well, it's mine. I'm taking it. Can I have it? They say, yes, I take it. So I have to tell you, back in the day, I really wasn't thoughtful in terms of saving some for someone else. It was always, I have to have it. I have to have it. You know? And it wasn't just 4-weight yarns. I was super excited about the threads, like the number 10 Aunt Lydia's. I was super excited. Like, I have a whole bunch of that. I have macrame cord. I have clothesline. I have all the things. My friends, Yarn Addict, all forms of yarn. Rope, twine. I have different grades of twine that I play with. So I hear people talk about how rough Red Heart is, and I get it. You know what I mean? But have you really crocheted with twine before? You need gloves and some ointment and some powder and all the things to be able to handle crocheting with that, let me tell you. Anyway, it's been a while. I haven't done it recently. I've had everything else on the hook. But, my friends, when I see a deal on a steal, and if it's a colorway I don't have or a colorway I'm excited about, watch out. I'm getting the things. So, anyway, I'm carrying on. As you see, we're at the end and it's doing all of this. You see how this is like stuck next to each other? There's a name for that. I can't really think of what it is, but that's okay. Anywho, I'm just going to let gravity take over, and I'm just going to make sure I don't get myself knotted up. I can't go too fast, right? I got to practice what I preach here. Take your time, Juan. Good things come to people who wait and who are patient. Sometimes I'm not patient. I'm being honest with you. You know, I just want to get the skein done because there's so many other ones. And this is another thing too, friends. Like, these skeins, they take a while because they're not fresh. You know, they've been sitting for a very, very long time. And while it would be nice for it to just fall apart nice and easy, that's just not my reality when we do this. You know, and that's okay. There we go. So, let me just take this off. And let's wind this around. And tuck it under. Just like this. I can't tell you how much I enjoy doing this. I love caking up yarns. It doesn't have to be vintage variegated yarn, but I just love doing this. I just love doing it. I love playing with yarn. I don't always have to have a hook in hand. I just love doing all the things with yarn. Look at that. Isn't that nice? I love the way that green pops, right? It's so good. So good. All right, we're going to do the things like that. Okay, brief pause. I'll be right back. We have to make sure we save and all that. Okay, 1 second. Okay, friends, so I'm back. 2 cakes down, and off to the races we go. So next, we're going to do this one. I've been waiting for this, friends, and I can't wait. So there was a little situation right here in the middle. If you notice, there's a dip here in the middle. There was a bunch of knots here in the middle. So before turning the camera back on, I went ahead and took care of all that to save us some time, right? So I'm going to go ahead and thread this through, and then we'll get back to business here. There we go. There we go. We're going to do a slip knot just like that. This is so much fun, friends. Love this. There we go. Okay. Let's tuck this under like this. Maybe? Maybe I'm going the wrong way. Hold on. Yes, I was going the wrong direction, friends. Listen, I'm still new to the Stanwood, okay? I'm a nitpicks kind of guy. What can I tell you? There we go. Off to the races we go, friends. We're here for... Oh, wow. Okay. What just happened, friends? We had a little bit of a thing going on here. Hold on. Let's see if we can rectify the situation. Okay. Are we good? I think we're good. We're not sliding. We're not doing any of the things. So, I foresee that this one is going to go pretty quick, which is good. I I have a feeling, friends, that all of these vintage variegated yarns worked up together in this hexagon project, it's going to be a sight to see. Because I've never seen so many different colorways in one project all at once. I mean, it's literally going to be a lot to look at. I already know that. So it's going to be one of those things, friends, where you're either going to love it or you're not going to like it at all, unfortunately. As a person who likes to plan colors and I allow the yarns to tell stories and things, this is going to be one of those ones where I have to tell people this is intentional. Everything you're looking at right now, it's on purpose. It was meant to be this way. And it's going to be one of those rare projects that like you're probably not going to see for a very long time, because I've searched high and low for these yarns. I've been gifted some of these yarns from amazing friends who have had these yarns stored away for years. And I can tell you there's a few handfuls of skeins that I cannot find on eBay or Mercari or anywhere on the internet because it's literally that old, you know? So, yes. After this cake, I will show you some of the hexagons that are finished. I'm sitting around 50 completed hexagons. I have quite a bit done. So how I've been able to get so many done in such a short period of time is, well, first of all, they're small, they're portable. I don't have to lug a ton of things around. All I have to do, honestly, is take the skein that I'm working on or the cake I'm working on, put it in a sandwich baggie and take it with me wherever I go. And then that is my project. And I even put the hook in the sandwich baggie with my little clippy clips. That's literally all I bring with me. And, you know, in a day, just randomly crocheting on downtime, I'll do like 2 before work. I'll do like 2 during a break if I get one at work. I'll do like 2. And then when I come home from work, as I'm making my mom dinner, I'm waiting for the food to get done, I'll do a couple. And then before bed, I'll do like 1 or 2. So in a day, in an average day, if I really put my mind to it, I could get about 6 to 8 of them done. And I'm sitting around 50, so there weren't too many days where I was able to get 6 to 8 completed, but on the average, I want to say like 5. I get about 5 done a day, which is great. I'm in no hurry. This is one of those projects that I intentionally plan on doing long term. I've talked about this for months before I started doing it, and it's going to be well worth the wait. So if you look on my channel, across the banner at the top, that project took a while as well. 196 solid granny squares, and after making all 196, I had to put a black border around each and every one of them. I had to sew in all those ends, and then I had to I had to crochet everything together. And then I put a border around the entire thing. And it was a lot of work, but I'm super proud of it. And I have a feeling that this project just might trump that one, which I didn't think was going to be possible, but here we are. And I'll tell you what, I'm so happy that I'm actually doing it, because I talked about it. I have a tendency to procrastinate sometimes. So the fact that I'm actually doing this is amazing. I think we got something stuck down here. There we go. Okay. Yes? Okay. We had a loose piece somewhere there. It's okay. It's for the house. Nobody needs to know. You know and I know, and that's it. It's fine. You can barely see it. Anyway, we're at the end here, and in true fashion, we have lots of things. All the things just happening here. It's fine. I tell you what, I don't know if you can see this, but do you see the table? You see the dust and things? I'm telling you, these yarns have been sitting for such a long time. It's okay. I love that for us. Which way were we going? I forgot. I forgot which way we were going. I think we were going this way. Okay. I think. I don't know. As long as it works. Okay. So there we have it. Just going to wrap this around. Let's pull and tuck. There we go. It was a rough start, but very nice. I can see you. Okay, okay. I'm sorry. Okay. So that is what we were looking like. You just pat it around the sides and the middle closes right up. It's beautiful. Let me just go ahead and do that. So now we have 3 completed. Brief pause, be right back. Okay friends, so we're back, and in between the breaks, which by the way, the data saved, so we're good, we're going to cake this up here. It's called Springtime Ombre. Let me give you a close-up of the situation here. As you can see, this particular ball band has no UPC code. That should tell you how old this is. And I'll tell you, it's very squishy. It's very nice. Now I will tell you that it's a little on the rougher side of things. It has a bite to it, but it is squishy soft. And I like that. I love squishy soft. Okay, so let's go ahead and feed this through. Like so, like that. And then we're going to feed it through like that. We're going to do a slip knot. And by all means, friends, you don't have to do this part. This is for me. So when I go to work the cake, I can slip the hook right through and get right to work. I don't have to sit here and fuss with the yarn. It's ready to go. You know? I can start autopilot. That's kind of why I do it. And besides, when I pull the cake from the cake tray, I look for this hook and that is my start. You know how some skeins have the sticker and it tells you like start? This is my little version of that. Instead of looking for like a single strand of yarn somewhere, I'm looking for a little loop. So it just makes life easy for me. Anywho, let's go ahead and get this party started. Let's tuck this in. Okay. Oops. Anyway, we have some new folks over here, friends. I'll have to tell you about the things in just a second. I don't know if you can see it, but I have what's called a Damn It doll. It's right here. And I named it already. It has a name. Now, my Damn It doll is Halloween themed. It's got the pumpkins, and it's got the broomsticks, and all the things. Now, my all-time favorite Halloween movie is Hocus Pocus. I love that movie. It's all the things, right? We love Winifred, the Sanderson sisters, and so I named my Damn It doll Winifred. The middle name is Karen. Winifred Karen. Yes, I'll show you Winifred in just a second. Actually, I'm going to show you now. This is Winifred Karen. Okay, so, right, you're supposed to say some things when you do this. Anyway, yeah, she's got the poof in the back and all the bouffant, you know, all that. Anyway, I know this is not part of it, but I have to share this. So let me read the things on the back, okay? Let's pause this. Time out, okay? It says, let me put this in the front. It says, when your temper is about to boil, you want to scream and shout. Here's a little Damn It doll you cannot do without. Just grasp it firmly by a leg and find a place to slam it. And as you whack the stuffing out, yell, damn it, damn it, damn it. And that is the thing. So you're supposed to, you know, but every now and then, you know, I have to tighten the little hair tie, you know, because she's got the hair tie. holding all of it up. So, anyway, this was from Billy the Crafty Floridian. I purchased this from her. And so, yeah, she made this. She stuffed it nice and tight. It's all the things. Okay, so I'm going to put this back on top of my chicken. I know, how ironic, right? My emotional support chicken with my Damn It doll. I mean, they're two peas in a pod. They ride together. There we go. So, yeah, that's a thing. This whole menagerie over here, I'm telling you, there's a whole story behind every single thing that's over here. I'm telling you. Like, we have emotional support chicken, we have the Damn It doll, we have the No Drama llama, and then we have Raphael, who came to us from Mrs. C's cottage, from Oma, and then we have Al the alpaca. It's all the things. Okay. I'm going off on a tangent. I need to get back to work. Sorry, friends. This is a coffee and cake with Juan. I'm sorry. I can't help it. I go off on these tangents, friends. I don't know why. Every time I have you guys as my company, I have to show you the things. You know? It's okay. I just noticed something. So the yarn that's inside the skein looks different than the yarn on the outside of the skein. So, okay, the color's the same, but the thickness is different. Outside of the skein, it's very thick and puffy. On the inside, it's very tight and taut. You know? Very different. Just a notable difference. I don't know. I'm going to work it up. I mean, I need some of this to offset a lot of that, you know? It's all about the balance, apparently, you know? I tried doing some of that mistletoe yarn, that vintage mistletoe. I'm telling you, that yarn is so old that I actually had to put those hexagons to the side because they were not pairing well with everything else that I was working on. I actually have it within arm's reach. Let me show you. I had to sit them off to the side. So I used the same size hook for all the ones that are over there as I did with this one, and it came out huge. It's like an inch larger than the rest of them, and I even tried doing it a second time, and it still came out huge. The cake just fell to the floor. I'm not getting it. Don't worry about it. It's fine. It's for the house. So, yeah. They can't go into the blanket. I hooked down and everything. For some reason, that yarn will not allow me to let it fall into place with the other hexagons. It wasn't meant to be anyway. You know what I mean? It's fine. But wait till you see some of those hexagons that I have completed. It's really nice. My favorite one is called Primary. It's Red Heart Super Saver Primary. It's very like muted and toned down primary colors. So there's that one, and then blue tones, which I believe you can still find on eBay. Yeah, you can still find that on eBay. I think the one skein was going for $19.99. It's some ridiculous price for one skein. I don't need it. I just thought it was very funny that that one skein was that much for a skein. I'm sure those will pop up here and there. You know, it's not like the only one in the world, but you know, when people know that these yarns are sought after and they are vintage and all that, they, you know, supply and demand, friends, right? That's what it really boils down to. So this here is like, I don't know if you can see this, but it's like a casing. So it's like peeling itself away from the other yarns, and that's what's causing it to like get knotted up. So if I go slow, it should not knot up, if that makes any sense. It only happens when you go super fast. Look at how much it's sticking next to each other. That's insane. I'm trying to be careful, friends, because I feel if I go too fast, it's just going to knot up like crazy. Okay, I'm just going to take that off. And as you can see, it's like stuck next to each other. I wonder if I can just... You can actually hear it separate. Oof. So someone told me, and I haven't checked, for facts or anything, but 1972 is when UPC codes started going out on the ball bands. It wasn't like a common thing back then. It was actually a rare thing to see, but it's when it started. I don't know if that's true or not, but just the fact that like this particular yarn was made before the UPC codes were created, it's letting you know a few things, friends. Like, this is some old yarn. And what's more is that the yarn that's sitting behind me will last just as long as this. The great thing about yarn, and I've said this many times, it doesn't expire. It doesn't have an expiration date. If you have a place to put it, you're golden. A lot of us usually run out of space. We're like, where are we putting our yarn? We don't know where to put it. So then we have to organize. We have to get, everything nice and neat and tidy and all the things. And then we go from there. This is so good. Okay. All right. There we go. Let's go ahead and turn that around. Perfect. Let's just take that off and pop this off. And then here's our loop-de-loop. Just put that back in there. And there you have it. Just like that. 4 cakes. And how long have we been on? 47 minutes. Amazing. Usually I can just get about 4 of these done because, we have to peel, we talk, we gap at the gums, we do all the things. So, anyway, friends, this has been so much fun. But this is the end of the video, I believe. So if you enjoyed this, if you like Coffee and Cake with Juan, where we do all the things like this, please give me a like. Consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. Check your notifications. Check your notifications to make sure that they're turned on. And I believe that is all for now. So until the next one, friends, take care. Bye-bye.